almost quit blogging this year. Like fully take my blog down, switch up my YouTube channel name, and completely change the direction of my business. But in the end, I decided not to. And in this video, I want to not only talk about why that is, but the improvements that I'm making to my blog, and also just call out the harsh truths of blogging that nobody really talks about. So if you're thinking about starting a blog, these are some of the things that you want to be aware of. And if you're thinking of quitting your blog, maybe this will be your sign to stick with it. Now, this is going to be the first video in a series of videos where I take you through my blog transformation, how I'm updating it, my plans to monetize, and how you can do the same as well. So make sure you subscribe so you won't miss any of that content. But starting out, let's address some of the harsh blogging truths that no one prepares you for. And these are things that I have struggled with extensively in my business for a long time. Now, the biggest theme that you are going to see here is the struggle of overwhelm. Specifically right now, I'm talking about the struggle of overwhelm and not knowing what to work on. When you get started blogging, there are so many different things to learn, so many hats to wear, and it can feel like you are all over the place. And I'm honestly not sure what's worse, the overwhelm of starting or the overwhelm of when you've been blogging for a while and kind of know what you're doing, but also really not knowing what you're doing, which is where I am right now. I've been blogging since 17, and y'all, I still do not feel like I have it together. I still don't feel like I know what I am doing. The overwhelm of not knowing what you're doing doesn't ever seem to go away when you're a business owner, which was actually surprising for me. I thought, and I still low-key kind of think, that like once you get to a certain point in your business, you know what you're doing. And like you're confident in the decisions you're making, and like you're not overwhelmed anymore because you're like, this is my routine, this is what's working, this is what I'm doing. And it just gets easier. And so far, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Maybe I'm just not at the point where it gets easier. But at this point, I'm thinking that it just doesn't get easier, that like overwhelm just doesn't go away. It does get easier, actually. Let me not say that. Because I definitely feel like it's a lot easier now than it was in the beginning, because I do know all of the systems. And if a problem comes up, like I generally know how to fix it, or I know who to talk to fix it, or I know what to Google to fix it. So there's like a lot less overwhelm than there was in the beginning, but it's almost like you just have different problems now. Because when you start blogging, you're excited, but you are also overwhelmed because there are so many different softwares to learn, techniques and things to do. But then once you've been blogging a while, I still feel overwhelmed because it's like, what's the next blog post to write? What's the best product to recommend or create? Like I'm still looking for the next best strategy or tool to use. There's always just so much to work on, and that overwhelm doesn't really go away. But at the end of the day though, I don't mind that because these are problems that I enjoy solving. Life is really just like a list of problems that you have to solve. And no matter where you are in life, you're going to have problems to solve. It's just a matter of learning what problems you enjoy solving. And that was a mindset shift that I had literally this week because I'm reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. And that's some of the stuff that he's talking about. There's always going to be problems no matter where you are in life. You just have to figure out what problems you are willing to solve and like what F's you're willing to give. Because if you give too many of them, then that's a problem. But if you don't give enough, that's also a problem. This is a really good book. I recommend it. It's on Amazon. I'll link it down below. That has really changed my mindset, and I'm only like a couple pages in. It also cracks me up. This book is so funny. I love books like this that like don't mind swearing and they're kind of just crass. If you're into those books, like the other one that I really like is, what is it? It's Badass Habits, and God, I'll put it up here if I can. I can't think of it, the name of it. It's a yellow book. I'll put it up here, like her whole series. I love those. That's completely off topic though, but I did talk more about the harsh blogging truths that I am learning in the blog post that I have linked down below. If you want to check out the blog, I will link it down below in the description along with the books that I just recommended because they're honestly really good. But I think one of the biggest things that I struggle with is perfectionism. I am always trying to make everything perfect. And by trying to be perfect, that also brings on overwhelm and procrastination. I am actively working to not be perfect though. Like that whole little ramble session that I just went on about books that kind of has stuff to do with what I talked about, but also not really. Normally I would have cut that out, but like I don't need to. So I'm going to keep it because I do like those books a lot. And I think they're helpful for business owners. But normally, like I have a script right in front of me. I always do. And for the longest time, I would try to read only what was on the script. I would not riff and go off on my own little tangents or whatever. But I have ADHD. I get distracted really easy. I associate things a lot differently than other people. So I ramble a lot and sometimes talk about things that like are connected to me, but might not be connected to others. And normally that stuff and like that personality, I would cut out because I'm like, that is not perfect. I need to follow the script that I have written, and I'm just not doing that anymore. So I'm trying to get better by understanding that everything doesn't need to be perfect. And sometimes it's better to just ship it. The blog post or the video that you are recording or writing might not be perfect. It might not hit it out of the park, might not be a top 10er, but sometimes it's better to just post it anyway. And that is a sign of me curing my perfectionism and curing my procrastination. Because if you procrastinate because of your perfectionism, you're never going to get any real work done. You just kind of have to start posting. But what if you are on the other end of the spectrum? You are posting, you are working hard, you are doing all the things that you can to make your blog successful, and yet you are still not seeing results. This can really make people want to quit blogging, and it is one of the reasons that I almost quit this year. It is the most frustrating thing because I feel like I have put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this business, and it just hasn't worked the way that I have planned for it to or hoped that it would. But I'm not entitled to success. That's just kind of the way that it is. I clearly have been doing something wrong, and I'm not entitled to that success just because I have put in a bunch of hours. And I just, over the years, have really struggled to work on both the blog and the YouTube channel. It is hard doing so much at once, especially when you see that it isn't working in just the way that you want. But that's also my fault. I have put a lot of effort into seeing results for things that I didn't want to do. And I've not seen a lot of progress in the direction that I do want things to go in, which can be super frustrating. But it's all about where I'm putting my attention, and I just haven't been putting my attention in the correct places. But on the other hand, I know that I have this big vision in my head for where I can go. And yet I feel like I'm either moving in the opposite direction or I'm not moving at all. And regardless of whose fault that is, it's mine. It can only be mine. Regardless of that though, that doesn't mean that it's not frustrating, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't make you want to quit because you feel like you've put in a lot of effort for things that are just not working properly. But for a while, to be truthful, I haven't been super consistent with the blog. It's just too hard for me to manage everything. So I thought that I had finally made the decision that I was going to quit the blog. I was going to fully dive into YouTube. I was going to take it down. I was going to change the channel name. Like, I had all of these things planned. And I even recorded an entire video on what I was going to do and my plans for it to go live on January 1st. With my brand new direction. But something stopped me from posting that video. For some reason, I always think that I'm going to move on and move away from the blog, and then I just never do. I have been having this internal struggle with the blog for literally years, and I wish I could pinpoint exactly what that struggle is and exactly why I don't want to quit the blog. But I think it could be a combination of things is what I have narrowed it down to. And the biggest thing being stubbornness. I've been a blogger for so long and I have tried really hard to make it work. I am just so stubborn and I know I can make this blog successful and I just can't throw in the towel. So instead, I'm going to be revamping the blog and figuring out a way to make it work for me. Because in the past, I have tried to make it work in ways that I have seen other people make it work. And that's clearly not working. So I am done trying to make it work in the frameworks that I have seen it work for other people. And I'm going to do my best to figure out a way to make it profitable and work for me. Because I know that I can do it. I'm just doing it wrong. And I don't really know what the right way is. But that is what this series is going to be about. I've taken steps to improve the blog, and I want to show you guys the way that I plan on doing that. So if you are struggling or if you are getting started and the ways that work for me, work for you, I want to be able to share that with you. I've learned a lot about blogging, and there are a lot of things that I don't see people addressing and difficulties that I have had that I've never seen addressed, so I'm going to address them. And I think the fact that people don't address the things that I have been struggling with is one of the reasons why so many people fail at blogging, because it is the overwhelm from not understanding things. That's another reason that I almost quit. There are so many things that I've never seen people talk about and tools that I did not know how to use that I found really overwhelming. And some of it I still don't understand. I don't know how to make my site faster. I don't know how to use Google Search Console that well. I don't understand how to rank in Google consistently. That still eludes me, or how the heck to read GA4. And it's so frustrating. And it's one of the reasons that I almost quit, because I can rank a YouTube video absolutely fine. I understand how to read the YouTube analytics, and I can also get YouTube results for a video immediately. With the blog, you don't get that. You have to put a lot more effort into blogging, and that's one thing that I just wasn't used to because I had figured out YouTube so early on. It's just a lot of different little tiny things that I'll talk about throughout this series that are not working for me, and I keep trying to make them work for me, and it's just not working. It's not working. So I'm really excited to show you guys what is not working for me and what is working for me, and show you guys that there is a different way to run a blog. If you don't like using Pinterest, you don't have to drive traffic through Pinterest. If you don't like making short form content on Instagram and posting over there, I hate Instagram. I hate short form content. I tried it so many times. I hate it. I don't use it. I don't drive my traffic to my blog with social media. I just use Pinterest and YouTube, and that's it. And then a little bit of Google. So I'm really excited to show you guys what I am doing, and hopefully it will help you out. But there is also a money-making aspect of things. And now this is the ultimate goal for a lot of us, is making money blogging. But if you don't know how to make money, or you have been trying to make money, but you are not seeing results, this can be incredibly frustrating. Now, luckily for me, I have been able to make money blogging. Not a lot, and not in the way that I want to, but making money is not an easy thing to do. I don't care what people say. They say that making money online is easy, and maybe it is for them, but for me, it has been an uphill battle for years, and I am still fighting that battle. But again, it is my fault with the way that I run things, so hopefully my new strategies will help. And hopefully they'll help you as well. When you get started with blogging, just know that you're likely going to struggle. I hate to say it. I hope that doesn't discourage anybody from starting, but you're likely going to struggle. That is the reality of it. That doesn't mean, however, that you can't do it, because I struggled a lot and I've been able to make money. So it's definitely possible. I personally just want to have passive income, and I know that I can do that with the blog, and that's why I haven't quit, because I know I can do it, but I need to have better strategies in place. And it's frustrating that I haven't got there. It's frustrating to myself. And being frustrated with yourself is frustrating because you're frustrated at yourself. Does that make any sense? I feel like that doesn't make sense, but it also makes a ton of sense. I'm frustrated at myself, which makes me more frustrated. One of the videos in this series will be me and my plans to update the blog and revamp my passive income strategy. I am excited to share those plans with you guys, so that if you're struggling as well, it might be something that you can try for yourself. And that is the point that I want to make with this updating the blog series. I want to take you guys into the back end of my business and show you what I'm doing, and taking you guys along for the whole process, so I can share what is and what is not working, so that hopefully you guys can not worry about what doesn't work and take what is working to your own businesses as well. But if you are struggling to make money blogging, just know that it's not an easy thing to do, no matter how easy it is that people say it is. But you can do it. So just keep trying, just keep putting in the effort, and you will get there at some point. And hopefully this series will help you if it's one of the things that you're struggling with. But this also ties in with patience, which I have patience, but I also don't have patience at this point. My patience is very thin, because you can make money blogging and you can see results, but you're not going to see them right away. And I understand that, but it's also frustrating when you do this for a while and you don't see the results that you want. So if you are someone that's been doing this for a while and you're not seeing results, you still have to have patience, unfortunately. But it's okay that you are frustrated about not making any money, because it does wear on your patience when you feel like you've been doing everything right and it is still not working. But if you just started and you want to see quick results, you're probably not going to see them. It is definitely possible to see results way quicker if you can get the right strategies in place. I'm not saying it's impossible, but for me, who has had no knowledge of any of this and started going in blind, you're going to have some struggles probably. So you just have to be patient, and then you have to be even more patient, and then you have to be even more patient. And you have to believe in yourself and keep working even when it feels like it's not working. And that is the main reason that I'm not quitting the blog. I feel like if I were to quit now, all of the hard work that I put in up until this point would be pointless. I have put so much heart, so much soul, energy, time, and money into things like making the blog work, and quitting just sounds outrageous to me. It sounds like such a waste of time. And again, I think that's because I'm so stubborn, but that's also the reason that things are going to work, is because I'm so stubborn, because I know that they're going to work. That is why in the end, eventually it's going to work and I will succeed, because I refuse to quit. Even when it feels hard, I'm willing to switch up what isn't working to find what is working. And I'm willing to learn more and test things out and keep going. And that's why no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm going to win and it's going to work. I just know that if you have those patience too, you are also going to be able to make money and be successful. But over time, you are going to have a lot of self-doubt. And that's what has me wondering a lot, like wondering, can I do this? Worrying about if I'm making the best decisions that I can make. And it gets hard because there really isn't a one size fits all roadmap. No matter how many courses that you buy that claim to have the best strategy to starting a blog, you still have to put in the work and do the right things to make it work. And that is where I am at. Since I have been doing this for so long and consuming so much info over the years, I know the strategies. I know the framework. I know exactly what has to be done, and yet it still hasn't worked. Like, it's kind of worked, but it hasn't worked in the way that I wanted it to. And that's when you start to doubt yourself and wonder if you should be doing this at all, which is what I struggle with. Because you may know what to do, but you still have to do it. Like, I could tell you that you need to post 3 times a day in order to grow on TikTok. But just because you post 3 times a day doesn't mean that you're going to grow on TikTok, because you have to have 3 videos that capture attention, that gather the views, the likes, follows, the whatever. You still have to do the meat of the work. You can have the framework, but if you're not putting out videos that are going to get clicks, then the framework doesn't matter, it falls apart. So that's when you may start to second guess yourself, like I do with the blog, wondering if it's worth it to keep it or not. And honestly, I still may get rid of the blog at some point, but this is my last ditch effort to give it all that I have got and try to make it work. And then if it doesn't, I have to let it go and move on. So there's a balance. It's all about knowing when not to quit, but also knowing when to quit. It's about understanding when something is not working for you and knowing when it's actually holding you back. And so I'm using the next couple months to figure out, is the blog actually holding me back? Or have I just not put the time, effort, energy, and resources into it in order to make it work properly? It's all about knowing when to pivot and move on, or when to double down and keep going. And really, there is no right answer, which is the frustrating part and what makes business so hard. There is no right answer to any of this stuff, but in the end, no matter what, I know that I can make it work, and I will be making sure to document that entire process right here on the channel. So if you are interested in seeing me turn this business into a passive income money-making machine, make sure to subscribe and like the video. If you are ready to get started on blogging, make sure to check out this how to start a blog video right here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.